Hey, so I probably should have made this sooner. I got a new camera, and then I guess I messed something up with it. I don't know what I did, but the camera that was wrong, but it was wrong, and I can't figure out how to use it. And then I never posted the video that I took back in like July, and then I got more updates. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, hi, sorry it's been a while. I have a lot of ideas and things I want to do, and I just haven't gotten around to filming any of them. But what I really wanted to say is this is a bit of a life update, health update. You can see I'm sunburned. So I'm back at school, so I'm my room, is a little different, but I'm really glad to be back. I really love my school, my friends, so first week of classes is just now finishing up, and it's really good to be back. It's been really hot, but it's summer. My heat intolerance has been getting worse, but anyway, I wanted to back up to, so in July, I was diagnosed. I went to go see a new geneticist, because the one I had seen, I just wanted to get a second opinion, and the one I had seen, a couple other people in the community had bad experiences with her too, and she's pretty dismissive. But anyway, so I went to go to a new geneticist to get a second opinion, because for my hypermobility and all my pain and whatever issues, to figure that out. So I went, and so I was formally diagnosed with benign joint hypermobility spectrum disorder, which is a bit of a misleading name, because it makes it seem like there's nothing wrong with you, but it's benign. I looked it up because I was confused. How could it be benign joint hypermobility spectrum when the doctor also said that, for the spectrum, there's on the end of the spectrum is Ehlers-Danlos hypermobility type, but there's this space that's a little gray right now with diagnostic criteria, where there's a lot of overlap between that hypermobility type Ehlers-Danlos, and joint hypermobility spectrum disorder, and I'm in that sort of gray space, and the doctor said that in my case to treat it as if it was hypermobile EDS, and that just with all of the other parts of my systems that are involved, and my histories, and all of that, it very much seems like that, but because I don't quite meet enough of the minor criteria, I believe, I'm not entirely sure, I have the hypermobility spectrum disorder diagnosis, and it's interesting because we got, she wanted to do genetic testing to rule out vascular EDS, before I get my top surgery done, and what was interesting is, I didn't have any of the genetic mutations that they were worried about, but I did have one of unknown significance. I forget the name of the gene, the call 1AF, I believe it's called. It's the one that's associated with classical EDS, and it has, it's the type 5 collagen, except for my mutation is unknown, so they're not sure if it's symptomatic or not at this point, with that. So that was interesting, and I wasn't really expecting that. So hopefully in the future, as more research is done, more and more is known about EDS, maybe we'll find out more about that, but it was just something that was, that's interesting. I wasn't really expecting that. Another thing is I finally to go see, we drove 2 hours, to go see a cardiologist who specializes in fainting and dysautonomia, and I've had basically a working diagnosis of POTS with my primary care and different ER docs and the hospital docs when I stayed overnight, basically saying that my symptoms and history points to POTS. I had never been formally diagnosed until this August. I went to go see a doctor that specializes, and he didn't even order a tilt table. He just took my sitting and standing and laying down heart rate, and it changed enough just in that he said, yeah, this is POTS. Also with my history, and because I have my Fitbit, and I've been able to keep track of my heart rate just looking at my patterns, it's like points to it. The funny thing is, of course, the one day that your symptoms aren't so bad and your heart rate doesn't jump super high when you stand up is the day you go see the doctor. I mean, to be fair, I had ended up at urgent care that weekend to get fluids, so I was feeling a little better that week, but it was just like, it didn't jump as high as it usually does, my heart rate, which is good, but also like, because you're at the doctor and you wanted to do the symptoms for once. But anyway, I still got a diagnosis, and he put me on mitogen. So for the past few weeks, I've been taking 5 milligrams of mitogen, usually 3 times a day, unless I'm just going to be sitting all day, and then I don't have to take it as much, really, because I mean, it raises your blood pressure, which hopefully helps with POTS, and it has been helping mostly, somewhat. I still have been falling. I have recently been having an issue where I fall worse than I had been. Usually I collapse onto my knees, but more and more I've been having, like, where I fall more flat, and I've now had 3 falls where I've hit my face, including one last night. And it's scary, and I'm concerned about it, but we'll see where my journey goes. He also wants me to start on the Levine protocol, but I'm working with a physical therapist to make sure that we get on a program that is okay with my hypermobility spectrum disorder as well, because we don't want to accidentally hurt something trying to fix something else. And once it gets cooler, I'll start wearing compression socks. I didn't realize I really had blood pooling. Because I didn't think I had it, because I don't know, because I've seen, like, pictures and heard and about stuff, and I guess I do. I'm just really pale, so, like, my sunburn, because you can see that, like, the transition from this to this, you can see that I'm sunburned, but when I'm sunburned, I usually don't turn so red, so I guess maybe I didn't notice it, and he said I had a little bit of blue in my legs, so that was interesting to find out, like, that that's actually a thing, and my blood pressure had actually dropped a little bit when I stood up, which I didn't think it did. Again, I don't know, these things that you find out and you're like, huh. What else? Oh, also the geneticist wanted me to go see a genetic eye doctor, because I wear bifocals. I don't know if you can see that line, and I knew that it wasn't super common for people my age to need them, but and I have myopia pretty badly, but which is nearsightedness, but I also have started to become a little bit farsighted, and I'm young enough that I guess that was weirder than I thought it was, so I have an appointment set up in November to talk to that specialist. Also, I'm getting custom orthotics for my feet, because I found out they're too wide in the front. And, like, I have wide in the front and they're really short in the back, so hopefully that'll help with walking and pain, and maybe my gait will be a little bit better. I also just got my SI belt yesterday. I started using it in physical therapy the other week, and it's really great. I didn't realize how far my hips went out when I walked until I started using this, or just putting it on. I could feel it keeping my hips in place, and my legs don't turn in as much, which is a great feeling. Started using a cane over the summer, and I recently decorated it with zebra tape, and I'm going to do a little bit more when I get a chance. I'll share it with everybody when I'm done. My GI symptoms have been getting worse, which has been a little scary. I have really sharp belly pain, nausea, and I haven't been able to eat as much. like I'll get full sooner, or I won't be hungry enough to really want to eat, and I have to force myself to eat. And it's been getting worse. I ended up in the emergency room for that a couple months ago. I realized I'd just been ignoring it. So that was a little something. So I go back to see the GI doctor in a few weeks. I had an endoscopy done. Luckily that came back normal. I just feel like my life is a lot of doctor's appointments, but there's other things in my life. I'm gonna start the process of getting a service dog. It'll be I know it's a long process, but my doctor was super on board with it. I love my primary care physician. I'm so lucky to have someone so understanding for that. But oh, my jaw keeps popping. And so it's been a really full summer with all the doctors and diagnoses and just answers. Like, I went 7 years with POTS symptoms. The first symptoms started when I was in 6th grade, and I just started my sophomore year of college. That's a long time to go without a diagnosis. I saw a cardiologist who told me POTS didn't exist at CHOP, Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. So at that point, it was like, well, if this doctor thinks anything wrong, we shouldn't worry. But it's just so good to have words to put to things. And I know some diagnoses might change, or new information will come out, or my symptoms will get better or worse, but for now it's really, really good to be able to say for sure, this is what's going on with me and this is what I need. So yeah, thanks for being patient with me. Hopefully I'll get more stuff filmed in the future faster. I really need to get more in the habit of it, but that's it for now. Bye.